or be hunted, adapt or disappear. For more than 160 million years, dinosaurs constantly competed for dominance. The weak disappeared, the adaptable survived. But was it size, strength, or some hidden strategy that brought them to the top of the food chain? Now, let's find out. This is the late Cretaceous, the age of the dinosaurs. Morning sunlight filtered through ancient conifer forests stretching across what is now Asia. A massive Therizinosaurus slowly pulled towering branches within reach. It was simply feeding among the trees, just as it did every day. But in the age of dinosaurs, this was also the moment another predator began its hunt. Hidden in the forest, a Tarbosaurus was already watching. It didn't roar. It didn't rush forward. Silently observing its target, it closed the distance one step at a time, waiting for the perfect moment. Only a few meters remained. When the moment finally arrived, the Tarbosaurus burst forward. At first, this seemed like an easy target, but it wasn't. The Therizinosaurus reacted instantly. Driven by powerful defensive instincts, it swung its enormous claws toward the approaching predator. One deep wound could end the hunt and eventually cost the predator its own life. That was the outcome for the Tarbosaurus. This time, it failed, and there would be no second chance to change its fate. That brief encounter reveals one of the most remarkable confrontations of the dinosaur age. The most dangerous animal is not always the one doing the hunting. Sometimes, the greatest threat is the prey that knows how to defend itself. That strategy helped Tyrannosaurus survive in a world filled with predators. But this is only the beginning of the story. The mysteries of ancient Earth are still waiting to be discovered. Subscribe to Megar Science and join us as we explore even more fascinating stories from Earth's distant past. And now, let's continue our journey. Therizinosaurus had survived the encounter, but did that make it one of the most dangerous dinosaurs that ever lived? Perhaps the answer is no. It was not a carnivore. It had a long neck, a massive body, and leaf-shaped teeth designed for eating plants. It wandered through the lush forests of the late Cretaceous, searching for vegetation. If you had seen this scene with your own eyes, you probably would have thought it was a peaceful prehistoric animal. However, from the moment it was born, it was equipped with a set of sharp claws. As it matured, those claws could grow to nearly 3 feet in length. Researchers have suggested that these claws may have helped Tyrannosaurus pull down tall branches that were beyond the reach of other herbivores. But if that were their only purpose, there would be little more to say. They served another remarkable function as well. They likely acted as display structures to intimidate rivals. And when danger appeared, those same claws became a powerful last line of defense. That brings us back to Tarbosaurus. The predator was not discouraged by the size of Therizinosaurus. It was discouraged by the cost of attacking. A single swing could come at a heavy cost, and in the prehistoric world, even a minor setback could threaten the predator's survival. Every hunt was a calculation. Every attack carried risk. This reveals something remarkable about life on ancient Earth. People often assume that only predators truly dominated their world, but Therizinosaurus challenged that idea. Even a herbivorous dinosaur could become a formidable animal when it knew how to make the most of its natural advantages. But evolution was exploring more than one path. While some dinosaurs became dangerous by making predators think twice, others evolved for a completely different purpose. They were built not to survive attacks, but to deliver them. But not every dangerous dinosaur relied on defense. Others became formidable by mastering the art of the hunt. Around 75 million years ago, a young Gorgosaurus quietly crossed a forest-edge floodplain. It was not yet the nearly 30-foot giant that many people imagine. It was still young, still learning how to become a predator. While fully grown individuals could compete for the largest prey in the ecosystem, it understood that it was not yet strong enough to do so. Instead, it chose a completely different target. A young Centipedes that had wandered away from its group for only a brief moment became the perfect opportunity. The chase ended quickly, but what astonished scientists was not the hunt itself. Tens of millions of years later, when the skeleton of this Gorgosaurus was excavated, its abdominal cavity still contained two nearly intact pairs of hind limbs belonging to two young Centipedes. But one question immediately stood out. Why did the legs belong to two different animals instead of one? The answer came from the bones themselves. The two pairs of legs showed clearly different stages of digestion. One had been inside the stomach much longer than the other. This meant the young Gorgosaurus had caught and eaten two separate Centipedes at different times, likely hours or even days apart. However, what should be noted is that the rest of the prey was not found in the fossil. This indicates that Gorgosaurus consumed only the hind legs of its prey. Rather than feeding at random, it was already selectively choosing the parts that offered the greatest nutritional value. Even as a juvenile, Gorgosaurus had already learned to select the parts that provided the greatest amount of energy and repeated that strategy over and over again. That was also when its life began to change. With each passing year, its body grew larger, its head became heavier, its jaws became stronger. Eventually, it developed into one of the largest predators in North America, reaching nearly 30 feet in length. By then, small prey was no longer enough to sustain such a massive body. It was forced to hunt animals that were larger, stronger, and more dangerous. Strength had brought Gorgosaurus close to the top of the food chain. but that same strength also turned every hunt into a gamble. That story is recorded in its fossilized bones. Many Gorgosaurus individuals carried the marks of a life filled with hardship. Ribs that had been broken and later healed, leg bones that had endured major impacts. On their skulls, paleontologists also discovered numerous bite marks inflicted by other Gorgosaurus. These predators did not only confront prey, they also competed with one another for territory, food, and breeding opportunities. Every scar tells the story of surviving a challenge that not every individual managed to overcome. That was the price of becoming a giant on ancient Earth. A massive body brought overwhelming power, but it also demanded more energy, more food, and greater risk. Every failed hunt consumed precious energy. Every confrontation had the potential to affect future hunting ability. Gorgosaurus ruled through strength, but evolution was not finished yet. Only a few million years later, nature began to experiment with an entirely different path. Instead of creating larger predators, it created predators that were faster, more agile, and more precise. Its name was Deinonychus. Compared with the giant predators that had dominated before it, Deinonychus did not seem particularly impressive. It weighed only about 73 kilograms and stood just slightly above waist height. But beneath that lightweight body was a design built for precision. Its long legs allowed it to accelerate rapidly. Its stiff tail acted as a counterbalance, enabling it to change direction instantly. And on each foot was a large sickle-shaped claw, held clear of the ground with every step. When a Tyrannosaurus wandered across a flooded plain, this predator waited for the right moment. Without waiting for its prey to escape, Deinonychus quickly leaped onto its flank. Scientists believe this famous claw functioned much like the talons of modern eagles and hawks. It could sink deep into the prey and hold it firmly in place. While the animal struggled to break free, Deinonychus simply used its teeth to finish the hunt. Deinonychus demonstrated that brute strength was not the deciding factor in an effective attack. Even a small predator could succeed if it knew how to make the most of its ability to control its prey. This unique hunting strategy changed far more than our understanding of a single dinosaur. Before 1969, dinosaurs were often portrayed as slow-moving, cold-blooded reptiles with limited intelligence. Everything changed when paleontologist John Ostrom carefully studied Deinonychus. Its lightweight skeleton, stiff balancing tail, powerful legs, oversized claws, and relatively large brain painted an entirely different picture. This was an active, agile predator, built for speed and coordination. The discovery became the spark that ignited the dinosaur renaissance, transforming scientific views of dinosaurs around the world. But another mystery soon emerged. Did Deinonychus achieve its success alone, or did multiple individuals cooperate with one another? The answer seemed to become clearer when paleontologists discovered the remains of several Deinonychus individuals alongside a single adult Tyrannosaurus. Many researchers believe the answer is fairly straightforward. Multiple predators may have worked together to bring down such a large prey animal. If the hypothesis that Deinonychus hunted in groups is correct, then the combination of agility, speed, intelligence, and cooperative strategy may have allowed them to take down almost any prey. Perhaps this is why the most dangerous dinosaurs were not always the largest. Sometimes, the greatest advantage was the ability to outthink and outmaneuver the competition. What do you think? Do you believe this hypothesis is correct? Let us know in the comments below. But long before agile hunters like Deinonychus evolved, a very different predator ruled the Jurassic landscape. It was Allosaurus, the largest predator in the Morrison ecosystem, measuring more than 30 feet in length and weighing nearly 2 tons. It was not the largest dinosaur that ever lived, but very few herbivores could remain calm when they saw it approaching. What made Allosaurus so formidable was not its size alone. Its skull was relatively lightweight compared with many predators that appeared later, while its powerful neck was supported by a massive network of muscles. Many researchers suggest that rather than relying solely on bite force, Allosaurus may have used its head and neck to deliver rapid bites before immediately pulling back. Each hunt was not a single burst of overwhelming power. It was a series of repeated attacks, always attempting to avoid the risk of a counterattack. The fossil skeletons of Allosaurus tell the story of a life that was far from easy. Many individuals carried healed broken ribs, damaged vertebrae, and old injuries that had recovered over time. They show that even an apex predator often paid a price for every hunt, and there was one herbivorous dinosaur that made that price especially high. And that animal was Stegosaurus. Picture the scene. On a fern-covered floodplain, an adult Stegosaurus quietly feeds among the wet vegetation. In the distance, an Allosaurus silently follows its trail. The predator waits for a moment of opportunity and then moves in, beginning a dangerous confrontation that could decide the fate of both animals. Had it been another prey animal, it probably would have fled, but not this one. Stegosaurus stood its ground and faced its opponent directly. Its tail began to swing from side to side. Allosaurus had to calculate more than just when to bite. It also had to calculate whether it could walk away safely after the attack. That single mistake finally happened. As Allosaurus moved in, Stegosaurus swung its tail with tremendous force. One of its long spikes struck the predator's hind leg, forcing it to retreat. The hunt was over. This time, the herbivore had prevailed. For Allosaurus, walking away was the only sensible choice. On ancient Earth, even a serious leg injury could mean losing the ability to hunt. And for an apex predator, that was rarely a risk worth taking. This was no longer a contest of strength against strength. It was a battle of distance. Move just a little too close, and every advantage the predator possessed could disappear in an instant. That was what made Stegosaurus so dangerous. It did not need to be faster. It did not need to be smarter. Nor did it need to attack first. It simply had to make every hunt a gamble that even the dominant predator did not want to take. This was a perfect example of the evolutionary arms race. Allosaurus continually refined its hunting abilities, while Stegosaurus refined its ability to make every hunt too dangerous to continue. Neither side truly won. Every change in one species forced the other to change as well. After more than 160 million years on ancient Earth, had nature finally created the ultimate predator? As millions of years passed, dinosaurs became increasingly diverse, with different species rising to dominate their own regions across the prehistoric world. By the closing chapters of the late Cretaceous, the most fearsome dinosaur of all had finally appeared. It was Tyrannosaurus rex. On a broad river plain, a herd of hadrosaurs grazed peacefully along the water's edge. Adults watched over the younger animals as they fed among the low vegetation. The predator had not yet appeared, but the hunt had already begun. Long before closing the distance, Tyrannosaurus rex had already located its target. Its enormous olfactory bulbs suggest one of the most powerful senses of smell ever known in a land animal, allowing it to detect prey from remarkable distances. By the time the hadrosaurs sensed danger, the giant hunter was already moving into position. The herd scattered in every direction, turning the floodplain into a cloud of dust and confusion. Yet Tyrannosaurus rex never seemed distracted. Its forward-facing eyes provided excellent depth perception, allowing it to focus on a single fleeing animal while ignoring everything else around it. Every step brought the distance closer. Well, the final moment has arrived. Unlike previous predators that typically relied on successive attacks, Tyrannosaurus rex simply delivered an extraordinary bite. For many prey animals, the chase ended almost instantly. What made Tyrannosaurus rex truly remarkable was not one extraordinary feature, but the way every feature worked together. A powerful sense of smell found the prey. Sharp binocular vision kept the target in sight. Strong legs closed the distance. Finally, an immense bite finished the hunt. Evolution had not simply created a stronger predator. It had created a predator whose entire body was optimized for hunting. For a moment, it seemed the evolutionary race had finally reached its destination. But if Tyrannosaurus rex had become the ultimate hunter, was there any dinosaur capable of making even this giant hesitate before attacking? Among all the herbivores that shared the late Cretaceous with Tyrannosaurus rex, none was more formidable than Triceratops. On an open floodplain, an adult Triceratops grazed quietly as a Tyrannosaurus rex approached from the distance. Unlike the hadrosaurs that fled at the first sign of danger, Triceratops turned to face its opponent. Its two massive brow horns pointed directly at the predator, while its broad neck frill protected the powerful muscles behind every charge. The giant hunter slowed its advance. This would not be an easy hunt. For several tense moments, neither animal moved. Tyrannosaurus rex searched for an opening, while Triceratops refused to expose one. The battle was no longer about speed or brute strength. It became a test of patience, positioning, and perfect timing. The fossils suggest these confrontations happen many times. Several Triceratops skulls preserve healed bite marks matching the teeth of Tyrannosaurus rex, showing that some individuals survived attacks and continued living for years afterward. Those scars reveal that neither predator nor prey consistently dominated the other. Over millions of years, both species pushed each other to evolve. As Tyrannosaurus rex became a more effective hunter, Triceratops developed stronger defenses. Together, they became one of the clearest examples of the most formidable dinosaurs ever preserved in the fossil record. But North America was only one battlefield. Far to the south, another giant predator may have discovered a completely different path to dominance. Instead of becoming stronger alone, it may have become deadlier by hunting together. The first clue was not a spectacular hunt. It was a fossil site in Patagonia, where paleontologists uncovered the remains of several Maposaurus individuals preserved together. Adults and younger animals were found in the same deposit. Was it simply coincidence, or did these predators spend part of their lives together? The fossils cannot provide a definite answer, but they raise an intriguing possibility. If several giant predators stayed together, perhaps some prey had simply become too dangerous for one hunter alone. The answer gradually became clearer when scientists made another remarkable discovery. Not far from the site, they uncovered the fossilized remains of the largest land animal ever known, Argentinosaurus. Stretching well over 100 feet in length and weighing around 70 tons, a healthy adult was less like ordinary prey and more like a moving fortress. Bringing down such a giant with a single attack would have been an enormous risk, even for Maposaurus. Instead of relying on brute force, some paleontologists suggest these predators may have relied on patience. Rather than charging immediately, they could have remained at a distance, following the herd for hours or even days. They did not need to overpower the largest adult. They only needed to wait until a young animal wandered too far from protection. An exhausted individual fell behind, or the herd became separated while crossing difficult ground. Instead of ending the hunt with a single overwhelming attack, the pressure may have continued until exhaustion replaced resistance. Whether Maposaurus actually used this strategy remains a major question, but the fossil evidence keeps that possibility very much alive. By the end of the age of dinosaurs, evolution was no longer shaping only stronger predators or tougher prey. It may also have been shaping cooperation itself. Perhaps the most dangerous dinosaur on ancient Earth was never the largest, the fastest, or the strongest. Perhaps it was the one that discovered a better way to survive. That idea brings us to the final lesson of the dinosaur age. In evolution, victory has never belonged to size alone. For more than 160 million years, ancient Earth was home to some of the most dangerous prehistoric creatures ever to walk its surface. Yet they did not all dominate in the same way. Some relied on overwhelming power. Others survived through speed, armor, precision, or even cooperation. Every one of them became dangerous for a different reason. Perhaps that is the greatest surprise of all. The most dangerous dinosaur was never defined by the largest body, the sharpest claws, or the most powerful bite. True danger came from the ability to overcome every challenge the prehistoric world could present. And for millions of years, these extraordinary animals did exactly that, ruling a planet unlike anything we know today. But even the greatest rulers could not rule forever. What could possibly bring the most dangerous creatures ever to walk the earth to an end? That is where our next journey begins. Subscribe to Megar Science and join us as we uncover the final chapter of the Age of Dinosaurs. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next documentary.